nothing less than a smear campaign that Congress is trying to overreach. Not unlike what happened with Bush. Obama's campaign is, Bush is overreaching. And what's he do when he gets in there? Well, he not only overreaches, he not only puts his hand in the cookie jar, he steals it.
He broke the jar.
And everybody just kind of watches, going, "Hey, what just happened? What happened?" And I have no defense for Nixon. I think he was a worse president in some ways than even Jimmy Carter, just because of his paranoia. I relate him and Obama the same way. These people are schizophrenic, sociopathic, nutso, just plain nutso. Joe, let me ask you real quick, Joe, if I can ask you, what's your take on this this tipping of the hand, as the media puts it, with John Roberts, that he may be looking at this thing a way of wiggling out, much like he did with the tax mandate? Well, it's not really a tax, that kind of thing. Or it is a tax, but the government can do it, that kind of stuff. What's your initial take on that?
I really hope that they send it back to the states. I hope that they don't rule on this and they just send it right on back, because I truly believe that it belongs at a state level. I think if they say anything but that, we are doomed for another 5 generations of just back and forth. This will never be settled, just like killing little babies in the womb has not been settled since Roe v. Wade. It's going to be a horrible thing. We're going to be tearing ourselves apart over this because the Supreme Court thought they should do this, when they absolutely should not be there. As like Chris Ann said last night, the court is ruling on things that they shouldn't even be talking about. This doesn't belong at that level. And Congress should impose their authority upon on the government and act in accordance with the people wanted. And so many times, these states that have done this, they've had the courts deem it so. They've gone against what the people that did through referendum or through ballot initiatives said, no, this is what the people of our state want, and those courts have gone against the will of the people. And that should not be happening. And these governors need to stand up to that. The state legislature should stand up to that, and it shouldn't get to the point where the federal government gets involved in this at all.
Yeah. In fact, in some regards, I believe it's not even issues like this are not even state issues. I mean, if we were going to say, let's pick the lesser of two evils, yeah. But when we're talking about institutions, or we're talking about biblical basis for our civil society on which we were established, these issues shouldn't even be talked about. I mean, it shouldn't even be on the docket.
That's where they belong, though. If we're going to have these discussions, they should be at the local level.
Yeah.
You should be able to decide that. And if you don't like the way your state does it, then, it's what a lot of people are doing in California and in the northern tier states. They are voting with their feet, and I'm guaranteeing you what's going to happen in Baltimore. People are going to vote with their feet. They're going to leave just like they left in the 70s when they had the riots there before. They will leave.
Yeah, I agree. We got to go to a break. When we come back, we'll continue our discussion here with Ron Edwards from the Edwards Notebook, Joe Hakos from Dryer Report. Stay with us. You can catch all our show archives at theconservativesyndicate.net. The Conservative Syndicate, real conservative talk from real conservatives.
When our water heater broke down last month, it was a nightmare. It took 5 hours for the plumber to show up, and he charged us a couple of $100 just to come out. Then it cost another $1,800 to put in the new water heater. By the time it was all said and done, I felt like I'd been taken. But what else could I do?
The smartest thing you can do is get a home warranty from American Residential Warranty. Their home warranties pay to repair or replace all your major appliances when they break, and they will break, and at the worst possible time. Call American Residential Warranty right now for free information on home warranties starting at just pennies a day. Don't wait for your refrigerator to stop running or your ceiling fans to stop turning. Call American Residential Warranty right right now. Ask how you can save up to 50% on washer and dryer coverage. Just call 1-800-790-5960. That's 1-800-790-5960. Again, 1-800-790-5960. Call now.
Limited time offer, 24-month commitment and credit qualification required. Cancellation fee, auto pay, and paperless billing and other restrictions apply. Since you can't see the difference, don't pay the difference. Switch to Dish and get the best deal in entertainment for less than $20 a month. Switch to Dish because at just $19.99, Dish saves you every time you turn on the TV. Call Go Dish to save with Dish. Dial 1-800-600-1645. Less than $20 a month. Dish. Call 1-800-600-1645 for details.
Okay, hey, we're back right here on the Conservative Syndicate. Again, thanks so much for joining us tonight. We're glad you did. I hope you're getting something out of this. We do try very hard on this show to educate, inform, and engage our audience. Leave you with something to think about, if nothing else. You may not agree with us, but at least you have to think about why you don't. And that's what we try to do here. I've got Ron Edwards doing his weekly contribution with us here from the Edwards Notebook, and Joe Hakos, my co-host from Dryer Report, who, by the way, next week will be running the show all by his lonesome. And I'm going to be on vacation, be out of the country, going to one of the last safe neutral zones in the world right now. We're going to go up to Canada and find some bacon. We're going to do something up there. And so Joe will be handling the show all by himself, and he'll do a knock-up job, especially if he can land interviews like he did last night. That interview last night was just outstanding. I laid in bed thinking about it for about an hour last night. Just outstanding. To have somebody so articulate on the Constitution. Outside of Mark Levin, he's the only other guy I go to. But we're going to have Chris Ann Hall back on here again, I hope very, very soon. Okay, back to this situation with the Supreme Court getting ready to rule on homosexual marriage. One of the things that came to my attention as I was reading this article, Ron, is that when the attorney representing, fighting the argument to have heterosexual marriage upheld, Ginsburg actually interrupted him, wouldn't let him talk when he tried to respond to John Roberts' question about whether the issue was discrimination based on sexual orientation or gender. And if it's based on gender, how is that different from sexual orientation in terms of discrimination? Bursch had responded that he believed the government can legally draw lines based on sex if it's related to biology, such as the ability to procreate. So he's trying to lay some foundations and saying the issue of sexuality, procreation, and that should be the basis for marriage. I'm not really sure that would even hold up in a lower court. But Ginsburg apparently felt the need to interrupt him. I'm incensed that we still have this old bat sitting on the bench. I just
How dare you insult old bats, John?
Yeah. When in the hell is somebody going to put this woman out to pasture, for crying out loud?
Watch what you ask for.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying there. But let's hope, maybe she has to hang around in 2016. But I mean, I don't know at this point that we can do any worse. This woman, you know what? She's like this old senile grandma that just says, you know what, I'm just going to do what I want, and I'm so old, who the hell cares, Well,
that's next week's shows.
yeah, like, what are you going to do to me? That kind of thing. But she has become more of an advocate for liberalism than any of the rest of them so far. I mean, Kagan and Sotomayor, I'm sure, will catch up with her sooner or later. But, in fact, let me entertain this. We got about 3-4 minutes left here, so I won't get in too much trouble here. Of course, it doesn't take that much to get in trouble anymore. But anyway, what do you guys think about this? I am coming to believe that women should not be in politics, in elected positions. I'm really starting to grab this thing. I know it sounds sexist. I know it sounds macho, chauvinistic, I guess is the phrase. But I'm just beginning to, these women, once they get in power, there's something weird. It's like estrogen overload, and they have to spank everybody all the time. It's like, I don't know what it is about this, especially when you got women sitting up there judging based on their emotions. That's the point. They're so freaking emotional about everything that I think it clouds their judgment. Unless you're like Hillary, which I don't really know. I'm beginning to wonder if she ever was a woman. But the whole idea here, what do you guys think about that? Am I just a sexist here? Oh, neither one of you want to say anything, huh?
Yeah, I do.
Send your emails to John.
Ron, let me ask you first. You're the guest here.
Okay, I'll say something. The thing is, I have said similar comments even to my wife about that and that idea, and to a few other people, and usually in closed quarters or whatever. But I've thought, because it seems that a lot of females that are in these positions of power, they're on the muscle on behalf of the women's movement or something like that, and that's my angle on it. It's like they're out to prove that they're smarter than men, that their way, it's about benefiting their gender. They've made it into a gender battle, and they rule from that position. They don't take into account the whole society, including men, and realizing that a male-led society is important, because you need to protect your nation. The natural things that men are supposed to do in a society. It seems that a lot of the women, I won't say all, but a lot of them have this anti-male or anti-male structure component to their thinking.
Yeah. Now let me interrupt. Let me interrupt you there, because we're running out of time, and I want to say this. I base this on the biblical passage in the Bible where God told woman, "Your desire will be to rule over the man, but it will not happen." And that's where I get my basis for that idea. And having said that, I got to end the conversation here. I'm sorry to cut you off here, but we're out of time. I want to give you time to plug your website and your shows, everything you're doing. Go for it.
All right. You can catch me at the website, theronedwards.com. Also on Facebook, Friends of the Edwards Notebook page. Also on Twitter at the Ron Edwards. Also, we've got an announcement to make, a little bit of expansion. I'm starting my own show on Saturdays in the good city of Philadelphia on WNJC Radio, AM 1360, and that's 3 to 4 p.m. every Saturday. And they're also running the Edwards Notebook on that radio station drive time every day, Monday through Friday as well. So another step of growth for the Edwards Notebook, and we're starting a new talk show on WNJC in Philadelphia.
Outstanding, my friend.
Yeah.
And we wish you a lot of luck with that. And don't forget where we're at. We're part of. We're here too. We can come on your show too.
I'm gonna have you guys on. Yeah.
Okay.
That'll be fun.
All right, my friend. I want to thank you for coming on this week, and have a good week. We'll be in touch with you during the week. God bless you.
Take care.
All right. Okay, guys, we're coming up to an end, and I'm sure Joe, sitting on the other side right now, sighing a sigh of relief that he didn't have to answer that question.
It was fine, John. It was okay.
Well, we'll see tomorrow. We'll see what happens.
Answer.
If I remember tomorrow, we'll revisit this. We'll be back tomorrow. It'll be Joe and I. Robert Cardoso will be taking the day off tomorrow, so it'll just be the two of us. And, of course, we'll bring you the best we can, everything that we can, the best we can. So stay with us, or come visit us again tomorrow. Go to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net. Pick up this show, all of our other archives, our blogs, all the information you want to know about us. So until then, God bless you all. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in to this edition of the Conservative Syndicate, the globally syndicated, politically incorrect talk show that seeks to tear down the imaginary wall of separation between church and state. We want to make you aware you can find and access all of our show archives at our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, as well as our broadcast stations and times. That's the conservativesyndicate.net. We so appreciate you taking time to tune in, and we so look forward to continuing to bring you the best and uncompromised talk radio available on the net today. And remember, folks, it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down in life. It only matters how many times you get up. I'm John Matthews, signing off until next time, right here on the Conservative Syndicate. God bless you, and may God continue to bless America.